Hello, I'm Steve Weber, the host of Essential Book Drop. We're featuring our top 3 new releases that you can see and download at essentialbookdrop.com. Happy Wednesday, everyone. It's October 22nd, 2025. With me, as always, is my co-host and my bookworm sidekick, Cassandra. Good morning, Cass.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday, everyone.
Today, we're diving into some really fascinating sources, boundaries of endurance, you could say, physical, creative, social, too.
Yeah, it's quite a mix. We've got a rock legend facing mortality, some deep insights into like how to actually structure a novel.
Which so many people struggle with.
Oh, absolutely. And then tackling that feeling of loneliness.
Yeah.
You know, how to connect more. So, yeah, a really interesting deep dive today.
It is. And we're starting off with one that, well, let's just say you need a pretty good, maybe dark sense of humor for this first one.
Definitely helps.
Our mission here is basically to unpack the latest from the Prince of Darkness himself. What happens when the stage lights go out for good? So first up, Last Rites. The author is, of course, Ozzy Osbourne. Genre is entertainer biographies.
And this one, wow. It hit #1 on the New York Times bestseller list instantly. Like straight away.
That tells you something, doesn't it?
It tells you everything about Ozzy's place in culture. He's not just famous, he's, well, the source material calls him a fucking icon.
Huh. Yeah, you can't really argue with that description. Prince of Darkness, Batbiter, survivor.
Total survivor. A sort of human cockroach, as the book kind of implies, who's just seen and done it all.
And the core of this book, what really makes it hit hard is the story arc around 2018.
Right. He's 69. He's out on this massive farewell tour, sold out stadiums, feeling, invincible.
At the absolute peak, you'd think, the big goodbye.
Exactly. And then the floor just completely drops out. The book details this incredibly fast, devastating health crisis.
It starts so small, almost ridiculously so.
Yeah, finger infection. Seems like nothing. But then it just spirals. Weeks later, he's facing near total paralysis from the neck down. Just unbelievable. And he's forced to completely abandon public life. Just like that.
For someone like Ozzy, whose whole identity is tied up in being that guy on stage,
A madman, yeah.
to suddenly be physically trapped like that, it's a huge psychological hit. But what really stands out in the sources, and I think in the book itself, is the tone.
Right. They describe it as bitterly hilarious.
That's it. It's brutally honest, but somehow still funny. It's like that humor is how he survives everything.
It's his default mode, maybe?
Seems like it. That raw authenticity. There's that quote in there people picked up on.
Oh, the one about regret.
Yeah. He says, people say to me, if you could do it all again, knowing what you know now, would you change anything? I'm like, no.
Ozzy.
He goes on, if I'd been clean and sober, I wouldn't be Ozzy. If I'd done normal, sensible things, I wouldn't be Ozzy.
It's like radical acceptance, but filtered through decades of chaos. Does the book wrestle with the cost of that, though? Or just celebrate the excess?
I think it does both, actually, pretty skillfully. The cost is obvious.
Yeah.
It's this massive health crisis. It's confronting his own mortality, which is the real weight of the memoir. But it also kind of argues that, the chaos, the excess that was maybe necessary for the Ozzy persona, for the art, it shows the extreme vulnerability behind the curtain.
Contrasting the private collapse with the public fight to stay. Well, Ozzy.
Exactly. And that tenacity, that refusal to just give up, that's really the heart of it.
And it leads to that final moment of, well, triumph, maybe. Recovering enough for that Back to the Beginning concert.
The final Black Sabbath reunion show, yeah.
Yeah.
Streamed everywhere. It's a really powerful way to frame the end of that chapter.
Bring it full circle.
Yeah, it really does. And you can't talk about Ozzy's survival without talking about Sharon. The sources make it clear she's central.
Oh, absolutely. Decades of it.
Yeah, through the addiction, the infidelity, cancer scares, now this paralysis. She's the constant. Maybe not always sentimental, but always there supporting. The book really highlights that.
So it's a deep dive into survival, really. Personal survival, the cost of being a legend. Heavy stuff, but funny, too.
Yeah, definitely essential if you're into rock history or just human endurance. Quite a story.
Okay, so moving from physical survival to surviving the creative kind, that moment every writer hits.
Ah, yes, the wall. The blank page staring back.
That feeling of just losing the plot. Literally.
That's a perfect lead into our next book. We're shifting gears to structuring your novel workbook. The author is K.M. Weiland, and this is in the fiction writing reference category.
Right, so this is for anyone out there who's got, like, a great idea, maybe a killer beginning.
Maybe even knows the ending.
But that whole middle part, it just turns into mush. Quicksand, like you said.
Absolutely. And structure, it sounds boring, maybe, but it's honestly the secret weapon. It's what makes stories stick with you. And yeah, every writer knows that feeling of getting stuck halfway through. Act 2 is just notoriously difficult.
Things just sag. Characters wander off.
Exactly. And K.M. Weiland, she's a really trusted voice in this space. Runs the Helping Writers Become Authors blog. Very popular.
Her original Structuring Your Novel book is pretty well known, right?
Oh, yeah, a bestseller.
Yeah.
This workbook is the 10-year anniversary companion piece. And what makes it so good, according to the sources, is how practical it is.
Less theory, more doing.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's packed with hundreds of questions, exercises, plus 80 brand new prompts designed to really get you thinking and, unstuck.
Making structure feel less like a rigid formula and more like a tool.
That's the idea, like a cognitive model for how we actually understand stories. Makes it useful, even if you're just trying to figure out why a story works or doesn't.
Okay, so what are the big problems it helps solve? The sources mention 2 key things. First, that new chapter on the inciting event. Why is that specific moment so critical?
Well, the inciting event is basically the thing that kicks the whole story off, right?
Right.
It forces the main character into the plot.
The point of no return, sort of?
Exactly. If that moment is weak, if the character could just walk away easily, your whole story feels low stakes, wobbly. So she gives you tools to make sure that moment really locks the character in and pushes the plot forward.
Makes sense. And the second big one, tackling the dreaded sagging middle. Act 2, where manuscripts go to die.
The graveyard of novels, yeah. Her solution, which sounds brilliant, is focusing on a powerful centerpiece scene.
Okay, what does that mean? Is it just like a big action scene?
Not necessarily just action. It's about structural function. It's a scene placed right smack in the middle of the story.
Strategically.
Strategically. Its job is to force the protagonist to face really high stakes before the climax. It stops that aimless wandering because the character has to make a huge, irreversible decision or confront a massive loss right there.
Ah, so it acts like a pivot point, renews the tension.
Exactly. It gives the second half direction and momentum, carrying you through to the climax. It's a really smart insight into fixing that common weakness.
So it's less about just making stuff happen and more about building a solid blueprint. Sounds super useful for anyone plotting, drafting, revising.
Or prepping for NaNoWriMo next month.
Oh, good point. National Novel Writing Month, if you're attempting that madness.
You absolutely need structure. It's the only way to survive writing a whole draft in 30 days without burning out or getting lost in Act 2. This workbook gives you that foundation.
Essential craft tool, then. Period. Okay. Complete shift now. We've done physical crisis, creative crisis.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the modern social kind. Isolation.
Yeah, moving from story structure to, I guess, the structure of connection, we're looking at having people over. A modern guide to planning, throwing, and attending every type of party. The author is Chelsea Fagan. Genre, etiquette guides and advice.
I really like the core idea here. It feels timely. This argument that, in a world that feels so transactional and disconnected sometimes.
Very online, very performative.
That actually inviting people into your home, your space, is kind of, well, she calls it radically hospitable.
It really resonates, doesn't it? It taps into a huge cultural need right now. And Chelsea Fagan is interesting because she founded the Financial Diet.
Right, the personal finance site.
So her advice comes from a place of budget reality. She's all about hosting at every budget, which is crucial. It avoids that whole intimidating, perfect lifestyle thing you see online.
Yeah, no Martha Stewart pressure, no feeling like your apartment isn't good enough or you need fancy catering.
Exactly. It's anti-aspirational in the best way.
Yeah.
Just practical steps for building actual community face-to-face.
So what are some of those practical steps? The sources highlighted a few things. First, just making your space ready for easy entertaining.
Yeah, basically setting things up so having someone drop by isn't a major production. So you don't, as she puts it, go into a tailspin, cleaning and prepping every time.
Lowers the barrier to entry for connection. I like that. Less stress.
Totally. Makes it easier to say yes to spontaneous hangs. And then she covers the basics, dinner parties 101.
The practical stuff.
Yeah. Simple menu planning, setting a mood, inviting people. And this is key, actually enjoying it yourself instead of just running around stressed.
That last part is important. But what caught my eye was the unique stuff, the things that really speak to needing genuine connection now, like the platonic adult sleepover.
Isn't that great? It sounds a bit silly maybe, but it's about reclaiming that easy intimacy and fun we often lose as adults.
Like low pressure hanging out.
Exactly. The sources say she really pushes readers to try it. It fosters deep connection without needing a big formal event or spending lots of money. Just low stakes, high connection fun.
I love that. But it's not all on the host, right? The book talks about being a good guest, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That section is crucial because community is a two-way street. She gives really clear guidance.
Like what?
Like when to actually show up. Hint,
Yeah.
not early. What makes a good host gift, what not to do.
Don't show up empty-handed. Don't overstay.
All that stuff. It's about making sure the whole system is sustainable, that the burden of hospitality is shared. It keeps the goodwill flowing.
So, stepping back, this isn't just a party planning book. What's the bigger takeaway here for listeners?
I think if you connect the dots, this book is really offering a practical toolkit to fight back against what everyone's calling the epidemic of loneliness.
Yeah, you hear that phrase a lot.
It's saying the answer isn't some huge, complicated thing. It's small, frequent, real-life gatherings.
Mm-hmm.
Stop performing online. Start actually connecting in person. It's like the structural guide to social survival in today's world.
Making hospitality radical again just by making it real and accessible, that's a fantastic message.
Really powerful, I think.
Well, thanks for joining us today. And if you want to take a look at any of these books, visit us at essentialbookdrop.com and you'll have all the links right there. Cass will do it again tomorrow.
Sounds good. Farewell, everyone.
Until then, keep on opening new worlds with great new books. And whatever you do, remember this. When you read,
Your mind becomes its own kingdom.